Bioenergetics is something we talk about a lot, but is often not well understood. So this little video shows you exactly what it means and whereabout in the cells this takes place. So if we run this little video forward, you can see that these are the cells in the body, and this shows you all the different organelles within a human cell. So you've got endoplasmic reticulum that produces proteins and lipids, and you have a number of different structures in the body, and you see these little red rod-shaped organelles. These are the engines of the cells. This is where all the energy is actually produced. So if we dive in, the way that energy is produced, firstly in the cells, is we have glucose molecules that are split in two, and this process is called glycolysis. And glycolysis will produce some ATP, and that is what we use in the body as energy. So adenosine triphosphate is what every cell uses, and if we don't have adenosine triphosphate, we have no life. And the body has only a 7-second store of ATP, so it's constantly reproducing more and more of it. When the glucose molecules split into two, we get two pyruvic acid molecules. And we roll this on a little bit further, we can see that these pyruvic acid molecules then are transported into the little organelle, the mitochondria. And when they come into the cell, they undergo another reaction where they then produce carbon dioxide, and they produce these electrons. And the electrons, or H+, is then used to produce the main amount of energy in the cell. That is done through something called the electron transport chain. And so we have these complexes that sit in the membrane of the mitochondria. So in here, we've got all the electrons. So this is highly charged. And the electrons are scooped up and joined on to, in this diagram, they're demonstrated by these little purple markers. This is NADH. And NADH is talked about as this really important carrier for longevity. As we get older, we produce less of these. So niacin, nicotinamide, NMN, NADH, that's what you're replacing when these are low. So each NADH will carry the electrons and place them into the electron transport chain. So the other really important part of this electron transport chain is how these electrons are passed along. And this is CoQ10, and coenzyme Q10 is essential to this whole process. And that's why if you're low in CoQ10, that can be it's low in the diet, or if you take statins, it blocks the formation of CoQ10, hence why people often feel tired. You can physically not produce energy. So the electrons are passed along the chain, and a number of these require essential B vitamins. So the first complex needs riboflavin to make CoQ10. We need B2, B6, B12. So hence you can see why if you're low in B vitamins and why you'll struggle to produce energy. So these electrons are then passed along, and finally they produce the ATP, the energy of life.